Hey, Vinyl Community, Jeff back again. Just wanted to show some new releases that came in. I'm going to knock out a couple videos all in a row here. These came in the past week or so, depends on when I post this, that were really exciting that I wanted to show. The first one is one that, you know, you got those bands out there that are like the little obscure one-off bands that you figured nobody else knows about, nobody else knows much about. And then yeah, it's one of those albums that was a blip on the screen that nobody cared about. And the chances of it coming and getting reissued, you know, the chances of anybody paying attention to it are so slim that you just don't feel like it's ever going to happen. And then all of a sudden it drops that, hey, it's being reissued on vinyl and CD again. And this is it's a 1989 classic, but I think my version was released in 1990. Maybe that's just the vinyl, but The Awful Truth. They were Metal Blade Records. They were a Metal Blade band. So it wasn't like they were some self-released album. Now, I discovered this album probably a couple years after it came out. I ran across a copy of the CD in the cutout bin. I think it was even in a long box CD. But I still remember going to the store, going through the cutout bin in the mall, seeing this album and thinking to myself, oh my goodness. I had heard about the band, but the thought of being able to run across a copy of it, it seemed like it was a pretty, I don't know, at the time I was under the impression it was a limited pressing and it probably was not easy to find. And I found it, bought it, loved it, fell in love with it, have been listening to it for decades now. Then when I first got back into vinyl in 2017, I tracked down a copy, and I guess maybe that's the problem. I think the vinyl was only released overseas, because we are talking 1990, so vinyl's in that starting to phase. So I do have a copy of the original vinyl. Is it maybe it's a US copy. I remember there was a band that I had to get from overseas. I picked up the original vinyl because I absolutely just love this album. It's just one of my favorite albums. So then it got reissued, and so it is now available. As of last week, it dropped. It's on Brutal Planet Records. It is limited run vinyl. It does have your typical insert with stuff in it, pictures. It is on orange. You can see the picture there. It's on orange vinyl. Our own Scott Waters, of course, spruced up the cover. You can see the color is a little brighter on the cover. The graphics are some additional pictures. The inside of that had the black and white picture, and you got the color one in here. I think on the back of the album, though, was the color version. Yeah. So nothing drastic as far as the artwork, except for there is the insert that's got stuff. And so the picture's a little different. The words are a little different. Sounds phenomenal. Sounds phenomenal. Just, you know, I listened to it over the weekend, revisiting this album. Now, what is the significance of this? Some people say, who the heck, and where'd my hype sticker go? So if you're not at all familiar with why does Jeff love this band so much, is that, so it's a three-man band, power trio-like thing, great stuff. And so you get the singer, guitar player, and then you got the bass player and the drummer who you might recognize. So these two guys, after this album, went right on to form or being part of Galactic Cowboys. So, I said that on the hype sticker if you saw that before I put it away. Anyway, yeah, so the former members, the members that later went on to be Galactic Cowboys. And it was produced by Sam Taylor, who did some stuff with Galactic Cowboys, King's X, ZZ Top. And so very much in the same grooving style of ways of the Galactic Cowboy sound, which is just one of my favorite bands. Heavy bass player. The bass player, Monty, he might as well be a guitar player. He's just sort of like King's X, you know, with Doug Pennick. The bass is highlighted so well in both bands. It's just not a rhythm part. It's a driving force. This has so much. The bass drives it. The drums are right in the pocket. The guitar players, check out these guys if you haven't. If you're into that grooving hard rock, I back in the day I would have called this heavy metal, but you know, it's just hard rock. Great stuff. Very much reminiscent to me of King's X as far as just the sound not vocally or anything. So yeah, when I saw this was coming out, I jumped right on it, even though I already have it. I'm like, I have to get this again. So, and I mean, I have the CD version. I bought the new CD version, even though I have the original. You can see the color has been, it's upside down. See, the color has been greatly improved. He took the picture off the back, but he's probably got a booklet inside where it is in there. But yeah, I mean, it's just, it's a great release. So this is the original Metal Blade. So yeah, check them out. Brutal Planet Records. Just one of my favorite bands. Just love, love, love this album. So that's all I'm going to say about that, because I could sit and ooh and ah over it more and more. And then the other things that came in of related note, I guess, because they're limited run vinyl too, right? Yes, they are. Is we got two more. This is from Gerda Music. We got two more releases in the Disciple vinyl CD reissues. Disciple been around since the 90s. They've done a lot of albums, and we've been seeing a lot of them on vinyl being released by Gerda Music. These are two more. These are two from the early days. Actually, I should have started with this one. What was I thinking? This is their first album, right? They had an EP, they had a cassette, they had some custom release tapes, but was it this one or the EP? This is like their first album. And so back in the day, because of CDs and everything, the album itself was very long, so this one had to be released later as a 2-record set, which most of the Disciple records we've gotten so far, I think the majority of them, if not all of them, are single. So, waited a little bit later, probably waited to see how they were going to sell. Hopefully they sold well enough, because now he put out this one, which is a double record. It's green. It's in a gatefold. The gatefold just basically has the lyrics, so I'm not going to go tearing that up in there. So this early stuff, they were pretty thrashing, aggressive at times. They then later kind of had that aggression, but mellowed out a little bit, had some other stuff on there too. But then this one, by God, I mean, this is just, some of this stuff is straight up melodic thrash type stuff. And again, this is one that was very long back in the day, and it is released now on red. It is a double record set. It is a gatefold. Again, the lyrics inside, not a whole lot going on there. Lots and lots of songs. Look at that. You can see there's tons of songs. So yes, it was great. These finally dropped. They just came in, and so now we've got two more. I think there is an EP. There, my daddy can whip your daddy, and I believe I know some of the later catalog needs to be reissued because I missed out on the initial pressing. But I don't know. I'm trying to think how many other ones are. I think there's at least a couple more in the Disciple early catalog that haven't been released. I have to go back and look. But this is getting close to completing it. They've released so many of these great things. So there you go. Disciple and The Awful Truth. Two different bands musically, but two great bands all together. Check them out. Maybe you'll like them. And I'll see you later. Rock on and rock hard.